The mitzvah of Ahalachta Bidrachav, following in the footsteps of God. This is the commandment that requires us to copy the ways of God. As the rabbis put it, God is merciful, you be merciful. God is caring, you be caring. This includes all of the various commandments of putting ourselves out for one another, doing acts of kindness towards one another. The Maharal asks the question, how is it that the rabbis limited this to the positive? True, the Torah is full of stories of wonderful things that God did for people. The simplest making of clothes for Adam and Eve. At the end of the Torah, the burial of Moses. Visits Abraham when he is ill. Consoles Jacob when he mourns the death of his mother. Sure, God did all sorts of wonderful things. He followed the Jewish people, took them out of Egypt, performed miracles, provided for them in the desert, had man food come down from heaven. God did wonderful things there. And in our everyday lives, there are so many blessings that God bestows upon us. And yes, the rabbis say, do those things. Be like that. Provide for others. But at the same time, there are so many harsh things that happen in life, and we understand that there's only one source to everything, which is God. The same God who creates and gives life also gives death. The same God who brings babies into the world also creates widows and orphans. And there's so many unfortunates. There are so many people that are suffering. There's disease and there's pain. How is it that the rabbis took the liberty to go and translate this commandment of following the footsteps of God as a commandment of reflecting the positive aspects of God? How about the harsh ones? The Maharal explains, God is only good. And we know that God does everything only for our benefit, whether we understand it or not. And in hindsight, people that have gone through traumatic situations, people that have gone through hardship, people that have had to live with trouble, with pain, in hindsight will always say that they've grown and become better people. Hidden talents, hidden strengths, possibly more important than anything that that particular person was aware of beforehand. These seem to surface. God is only good. The rabbis were right. Be godlike and be good. But why did the Torah choose to phrase it in a way where one could ask the question? Why did the Torah phrase it as be godlike? Why didn't it just say be good? The answer is, and I'm afraid we can relate to this one very well, the answer is because the mitzvah is not be nice, be kind, just be polite, smile at everybody. The mitzvah is care. The mitzvah is help people in a meaningful way. Understand their real needs, their real immediate needs, and their real long-term needs. Understand that the answer you give people is not always yes when they request your assistance. There are times that they have to be taught to fend for themselves. There are times that people have to be taught to be responsible. Help people in a meaningful way. Help people in a way that's best for them. Bringing up children, it's the very same thing, which of course is the greatest opportunity for giving. Don't just spoil your kids rotten. Make sure that you give them independence. You give them responsibility. You give them insight. You give them the ability to think. You actually provoke them to use their brains. You turn them into responsible members of society, not just showering them with gifts and give them the car whenever they want it. When it comes to our friends, when it comes to our neighbors, when it comes to anyone else that we could possibly feel that we've got a responsibility for, another human being in need, we've got to make sure that we help, but that we help in a way that is meaningful. Be godlike. God helps for real.